Karmic lessons are often misunderstood. They're not cosmic punishments waiting to strike us down. They're actually gentle, and sometimes not so gentle, reminders that we possess the power to break free from our past patterns. We come into this life carrying the echoes of experiences, some from our own childhood, and some perhaps from long-forgotten threads of ancestral stories. When life hands us repeated conflicts or frustrations, it's as if the universe is whispering, "Look more closely, learn this lesson, and finally set yourself free." Today, you're invited to explore these hidden patterns that keep showing up. Perhaps you've noticed specific themes: feeling undervalued in your relationships, struggling financially no matter how hard you work, or repeatedly battling self-doubt when faced with new opportunities. These patterns might look random on the surface, but they often point to deeply seated karmic imprints, urging us to break the cycle. The moment we decide to see them not as curses, but as stepping stones, the entire framework of our reality starts to shift. The key is remembering that no matter what has shaped you, past heartbreaks, ancestral wounds, or even your own harsh self-judgments, healing is possible when you open your heart to transformation. This journey can begin right now. Let's approach each chapter of our personal stories with forgiveness, curiosity, and compassion. Think of it as turning a page in a book where you're both the reader and the writer. Each time you identify a lesson, you're effectively rewriting the script of your life. We will dive into the essence of how these karmic loops function and learn simple, powerful ways to unravel them. Imagine standing in front of a closed door for ages, afraid or hesitant. Suddenly, you realize the key you need has been in your pocket all along. All it takes is a willingness to accept your own strength, to insert that key into the lock, and to swing the door open. Whether you're new to this idea or have been walking a spiritual path for years, consider this video your gentle reminder that you are far more powerful than you believe. The moment you bring awareness to any pattern, it loses some of its hold over you. And once you add in practices like self-love, forgiveness, gratitude, and conscious action, you pave the way for profound change. So let's begin this journey of karmic understanding together. Prepare to step beyond old limitations, greet each new insight with an open heart, and watch how these revelations lead you straight into a more liberated present. Let's explore the beauty of transforming karma into the very foundation of our freedom. Karma can sound like an intimidating concept, but let's simplify it. In essence, karma reflects the natural progression of cause and effect within our thoughts, emotions, and actions. When a certain negative or self-limiting pattern keeps resurfacing, it's like life tapping us on the shoulder and saying, "There's something here worth paying attention to." Maybe you keep attracting partners who don't respect your boundaries, or you struggle with the same financial bottlenecks year after year. These aren't just unlucky coincidences. They might be indicators that something deeper is at work. The first step to liberation is to identify these cycles. Begin by reflecting on situations that consistently trigger discomfort, disappointment, or frustration. For example, you might notice that whenever you get close to success, you suddenly feel compelled to self-sabotage, missing deadlines, avoiding responsibility, or letting fear override intuition. This pattern doesn't arise out of nowhere. It's a well-worn groove in your psyche, possibly formed years ago, that says, I'm not worthy enough to succeed. It's subtle, but it has a powerful grip. However, merely knowing a pattern exists doesn't instantly dissolve it. Awareness is the starting point, an invitation to explore deeper. Approach these revelations gently. Instead of judging or condemning yourself, why do I keep doing this? Respond with curiosity, asking, what can this situation teach me? This shift in perspective is vital. It opens up mental and emotional space for growth, rather than reinforcing the belief that something is wrong with you. Another helpful tool is journaling. When you write about recurring themes in your life, patterns often jump off the page. It's as though your soul is speaking in bold print, urging you to pay attention. In these moments, remind yourself of a calming affirmation. I allow myself to see the truth of my recurring patterns with compassion. Let this phrase soothe any initial discomfort. Compassion diffuses self-criticism and transforms your exploration into a nurturing process rather than a harsh interrogation. In many spiritual traditions, karmic patterns can also be linked to ancestral lines. This means you might inherit emotional or behavioral imprints from generations before you. While this can feel heavy, it also means your work to break free carries a ripple effect of healing not just for yourself, but for those who came before and those who will come after. Recognizing this can add a sense of purpose and determination, reminding you that your journey has a broader impact. So take a moment to reflect. Where have you seen repetition in your life? What triggers keep showing up? Each pattern holds a piece of the grand puzzle that is your spiritual growth. Identifying these karmic cycles is the gateway to deeper healing. It's as if you found a buried treasure map. Now, it's time to follow the clues. Once you begin identifying your karmic patterns, the next step is to bring in the healing balm of self-love. Self-love is not a luxury or a fleeting trend. It's the foundation on which all other growth stands. Imagine it as the fertile soil where seeds of transformation can finally take root. Without self-love, our efforts at healing often remain superficial, like placing a bandage over a deep wound. But when we truly love ourselves, we allow that wound to breathe and heal from the inside out. Consider how often you might have looked in the mirror and focused on imperfections or replayed negative self-talk in your mind. These seemingly small habits reinforce a message: I'm not good enough. Over time, that message can harden into an inner narrative shaping your relationships, choices, and ability to heal. When karmic lessons arise, this lack of self-love might manifest as stubborn resistance to change or an inability to forgive yourself for past mistakes. Breaking the cycle starts with a radical act of compassion toward yourself. A powerful exercise is mirror work. Spend a few moments each day looking into your own eyes and saying, I love you, I accept you completely. At first you might feel awkward or hear an inner critic arguing otherwise. That's normal. It's also a sign of how much we might be holding on to old limiting beliefs. Gently continue the practice, letting the words sink in. Over time, you'll notice subtle changes. Perhaps a softer inner voice, a friendlier face looking back at you, or a greater willingness to believe you are deserving of good. When self-love takes root, your perspective on challenges shifts. Instead of blaming yourself, I always mess things up, you begin to nurture a kinder view. I had a tough moment, but I'm learning and growing. This shift may seem small, yet it's monumental. Each time you choose self-compassion over self-criticism, you break a piece of the karmic chain binding you to old wounds. Try pairing self-love with affirmations that address your specific karmic patterns. If you fear abandonment, affirm, "I am safe and wholly lovable." If you struggle with scarcity, affirm, "I trust that abundance flows freely to me." Speak these words softly, but with conviction. Over time, they rewire your subconscious mind, dissolving the mental or emotional blocks that might have been anchored in place for years. Additionally, remember that self-love isn't just about inner dialogue. It extends to how you treat your body and environment. Choose nourishing foods, allow yourself adequate rest, and create a living space that feels like a sanctuary. Every gesture of kindness toward yourself is a vote in favor of healing. With consistency, you'll watch your karmic lessons transform from heavy burdens into manageable tasks, guided by the unwavering support of genuine self-love. Healing karmic patterns often requires revisiting old emotional baggage, the hurts we carry like weights in our hearts. These burdens may be moments of betrayal, unresolved grief, or regrets over missed opportunities. But there's a liberating truth. Forgiveness can dissolve these weights and lighten our journey. While it might sound cliché, forgiveness is not about condoning harmful actions. It's about freeing yourself from the grip of the past. One of the most transformative steps in this process is self-forgiveness. Often, we try to extend forgiveness to others without first addressing the guilt or shame we harbor toward ourselves. Whether you blame yourself for trusting the wrong person or for mistakes you made in desperation, these judgments build invisible barriers to your healing. Telling yourself, "I release any blame I hold against myself," can begin chipping away at layers of internal resentment. Once you've made strides in self-forgiveness, it becomes more natural to extend grace to others. Picture a friend who betrayed your trust. Holding on to anger can feel justified, but it also keeps you tethered to that event. Forgiveness doesn't erase what happened, nor does it excuse the behavior. It simply says, "I choose to free myself from reliving this pain." Imagine that each time you recall the offense, you're tying yourself to it with another strand of energetic rope. Forgiveness is the gentle act of cutting those strands so you can move freely in the present. To deepen this practice, consider creating a personal forgiveness ritual. Some find it helpful to write a letter, either to yourself or someone who hurt you, expressing all the emotions you've held inside. Don't censor your feelings. Let them flow. Then, in a safe and symbolic gesture, you might tear up or burn the letter, acknowledging that you are releasing the pent-up negativity. As you do this, whisper or think, "I let go of this pain and I reclaim my peace." Another pathway is guided visualization. Find a quiet space, close your eyes, and envision both you and the other person, or the past version of yourself, bathed in a warm, healing light. Allow that light to dissolve resentment and cultivate understanding. You might be surprised at the emotional release this simple technique can provide. Even if the other person never apologizes or changes, you're no longer weighed down by their actions. Remember, forgiveness is a process. It doesn't always happen instantly. You may find yourself revisiting certain memories multiple times, each time peeling back a layer of pain. This is normal and even healthy, as it signifies you're unraveling karmic knots that might have been decades in the making. Each act of forgiveness draws you closer to emotional freedom and ultimately helps you create a new reality unburdened by old hurts. Living in the present is more than a mindfulness buzzword. It's a potent tool for dissolving karmic patterns. When you're fully engaged in now, the weight of old baggage begins to lift, and the anxiety of future scenarios lessens. This is because karma, in many ways, is fueled by memory, repetitive thoughts, and unresolved emotions rooted in the past. By anchoring yourself in the present, you disrupt the cycle of reliving old hurts. Let's explore the mind-body connection in this context. Perhaps you've noticed tension in your shoulders when you think about a stressful job, or feel knots in your stomach, recalling a painful memory. These physical reactions can be signals that your body is holding on to unprocessed emotions. Acknowledging these sensations without judgment is the first step toward release. If you catch yourself clenching your jaw during a tough conversation, pause and breathe deeply. That simple act of awareness can shift your emotional state. A practical method is a basic breathing technique. Inhale slowly to a count of 4. Hold for a moment, then exhale to a count of 4. Repeat this a few times, allowing your breath to guide you into the present moment. Notice how your heartbeat may slow and your mind becomes more focused. As you breathe, gently remind yourself, right now, I am safe. I am free to choose peace. This breaks the chain of karmic reactions by offering you a fresh perspective in a potentially triggering moment. Another tool is a brief body scan. Systematically move your attention from your toes to the crown of your head, observing sensations or tightness. If you encounter discomfort, pause and breathe into that area with compassion. Imagine your breath carrying warmth and healing to any tense spots. Doing this daily, even for a few minutes, trains you to be more present throughout the day. You'll start catching yourself before you spiral into negative thought loops, effectively stopping karmic patterns from playing out automatically. Journaling can also serve as a bridge between your mental world and the tangible present. When a karmic trigger arises, write down the event, how it made you feel, and any thoughts that surfaced. Conclude your entry with a mindful observation, something like, though I feel upset, I choose to remain open to learning from this. Each journal entry becomes evidence of your commitment to awareness and growth, transforming painful experiences into stepping stones toward liberation. In essence, present moment awareness invites you to confront your karmic echoes with clarity. Instead of letting past hurts dominate your actions, you learn to respond with conscious choices. It's like stepping out of a well-worn groove in the road and discovering new paths in every direction. With practice, each moment becomes an opportunity to create a fresh imprint, one guided by calm, love, and intentionality, rather than old pain. Imagine your past pains, disappointments, traumas, or regrets, as condensed energy forms within you. When left unacknowledged, they can fester, fueling karmic loops that replay the same old stories. But when you face these pains directly, you can alchemize them into sources of wisdom and personal power. This is the essence of transformation, turning something that once hurt you into fuel for your spiritual and emotional evolution. One way to begin this alchemy is by reframing your narrative. Rather than labeling a painful event as pure misfortune, View it as a teacher that revealed hidden strengths or newly discovered boundaries. For example, if you endured a broken relationship, you could reflect on how it taught you the value of self-respect or prompted you to cultivate a deeper sense of independence. In doing so, you reclaim agency over the story you tell yourself. And that shift can break a karmic cycle rooted in victimhood. Another method is to explore structured self-reflection. You might pick one painful experience and ask these questions. What did I learn about myself through this hardship? How did it change my perspective on life? What new qualities, like resilience or empathy, did this experience help me develop? Write down the answers, and you may be amazed by how much light emerges from what you once perceived as darkness. This process can highlight how each challenge contributed to your growth, unveiling the why behind recurring karmic themes. Visualization is also a powerful ally. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and call to mind a painful memory. As it arises, picture it as a dense ball of energy in your chest or your hands. Then, envision a bright, healing light shining upon that ball. Slowly, see the dense energy dissolving into that light, transforming into a gentle radiance. You can accompany this with an affirmation like, "I release my pain and embrace the wisdom it has given me." This simple practice can create a tangible, almost physical sense of relief. Remember, transformation doesn't necessarily erase the memory of what happened, nor does it deny the reality of your pain. It merely reshapes it so that it no longer holds you hostage. The experience becomes a chapter in your story rather than the defining plot. By actively seeking the lessons hidden in your suffering, you prevent the same karmic patterns from reemerging. Like finally learning the moral of a parable and thus freeing yourself from having to repeat it. Ultimately, transforming pain into wisdom is about harnessing your inner power. You stand at the intersection of your past and future, making conscious choices about how you internalize each experience. When you embrace this viewpoint, your scars become sacred imprints of growth rather than bitter reminders of what hurt you. This perspective lights your path forward, enabling you to walk not just with caution, but with a sense of purpose and an open heart. Gratitude might sound like a pleasant sentiment, but it's actually a profound spiritual tool capable of dissolving karmic binds. When you feel stuck in repetitive patterns, shifting your focus to what is going right in your life helps reorient your energy. Instead of ruminating on old wounds or lingering fears, you gently guide your attention toward abundance, healing, and possibility. It's as if gratitude is a warm light you shine into the darkest corners of your psyche, making it harder for negativity to hide. One gentle way to start is with a gratitude journal. Each morning or evening, jot down 3 things you genuinely appreciate. They can be simple pleasures, a comfortable bed, a pleasant conversation, or a beam of sunlight that warmed your face. Over time, this habit trains your mind to hunt for reasons to be grateful, even in challenging circumstances. By developing an outlook that seeks the good, you gradually weaken the grip of karmic patterns anchored in scarcity or despair. Don't underestimate the power of spoken gratitude either. Whenever you notice something uplifting, a kind gesture from a stranger, a moment of laughter, voice it aloud or in your thoughts. I am thankful for this experience. Speaking gratitude engages your heart and mind in unison, amplifying its effect. This practice becomes even more potent when you direct gratitude inward, celebrating your own courage, empathy, or dedication. "I am grateful for my resilience" is a life-affirming statement that can counteract any voices of self-doubt lingering from past hardships. Consider pairing gratitude with breathwork or meditation. After taking a few calming breaths, place your hand over your heart and silently list things you're thankful for. Imagine each point of gratitude creating a ripple of warm energy in your chest, then radiating outward to fill your body. Feel this energy loosening internal knots formed by fear, resentment, or regret. When you exhale, visualize any residual negativity leaving your body. This simple exercise can bring you back to equilibrium faster than you might expect. In the grand tapestry of karma, each thread of gratitude weaves a new pattern, one that's less prone to tangle in old loops. By consciously shifting from what went wrong to what is going well, you alter the emotional climate of your internal world. And as the inner landscape changes, your external reality often follows suit. You might find that relationships feel more harmonious, opportunities flow more freely, and moments of serendipity increase. Ultimately, gratitude is a form of acknowledgement. When you say thank you, you're recognizing the inherent goodness in life, in others, and in yourself. This recognition doesn't deny the reality of pain or struggle, but it does place them in a larger, more hopeful context. Over time, consistent gratitude practice paves a direct path to liberation, one where old karmic lessons are seen not as shackles, but as stepping stones toward a more fulfilling existence. Raising your personal vibration is more than a trendy term. It's the practical process of aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with higher states like love, compassion, and joy. By doing so, you naturally repel lower energies tied to old karmic patterns of fear, guilt, or resentment. Think of it like tuning a radio. When you dial into higher frequencies, you're less likely to pick up the static of past negativity. A straightforward way to elevate your vibration is to audit your daily habits. Notice what you consume, not just in terms of food, but also in media, conversations, and even self-talk. Are you nourishing your mind with uplifting content, or are you trapped in cycles of doom, scrolling, and gossip? Each choice either raises or lowers your energetic frequency. By selecting positivity, optimistic podcasts, reading material that sparks joy, or heartfelt conversations, you gradually transform your internal atmosphere. Self-talk is another crucial piece of this puzzle. If you catch yourself saying, "I'm such a failure," pause and replace it with a neutral or affirming statement like, "I made a mistake, and that's okay. I am learning." This subtle shift can generate an immediate lift in how you feel, reinforcing the idea that your words have the power to shape your reality. To deepen this effect, try writing out a short list of uplifting phrases you can refer to whenever you sense your vibration dipping. Think lines like, "I am worthy of peace," "I choose hope over fear," or "My heart is open to healing." Movement is also a powerful ally in raising vibration. Gentle activities like yoga, tai chi, or even a brisk walk can help shake off stuck energy and reconnect you with the present moment. As you move, keep your posture open and let your breath flow naturally. You might even pair your steps with a simple affirmation. With each step, I release the past and welcome new blessings. Combining movement with mindful intention creates a potent, energetic shift that reverberates beyond the physical. Don't forget the power of nature. Spending time outdoors, whether it's a forest walk or simply sitting near a plant-filled window, can recalibrate your system toward balance. Nature has a grounding effect that helps clear mental chatter, making space for higher vibrational thoughts to flourish. Even placing your feet on the grass for a few moments can evoke a sense of calm and renewal that counters karmic heaviness. Raising your vibration is not about ignoring life's challenges or plastering on a fake smile. Rather, it's a conscious choice to elevate your inner state so you can navigate obstacles with clarity and resilience. When you commit to this higher frequency living, old karmic cycles lose their grip. They can't find resonance in a mindset that values self-love, gratitude, and hope. In turn, you become a magnet for experiences that match your elevated energy. A beautiful ripple effect that touches every area of your life. Having explored self-love, forgiveness, present moment awareness, gratitude, and vibration, you now stand at a pivotal intersection, the point where these practices converge into a unified approach. Think of it as weaving a tapestry. Each thread represents a lesson or tool, and together they form a protective, empowering fabric around your life. This integrated approach is where true karmic liberation takes root. When you integrate karmic lessons, you start making decisions based on wisdom gained rather than fear of repeating past mistakes. For instance, if you've struggled with abandonment, your new sense of self-love and forgiveness might inspire you to communicate boundaries openly in relationships rather than waiting for the other person to guess your needs. You consciously shift old patterns by choosing to act in ways that honor your newly discovered sense of worth. Holistic living is the key here. Let the awareness of your emotions inform how you treat your body. If you notice old resentment creeping in, pair your emotional work, like journaling or affirmations, with a physical release, such as a walk or gentle stretches. This holistic mindset ensures that your healing is not compartmentalized. Instead, it becomes a seamless part of your daily routine. The more you align thoughts, feelings, and actions, the less room there is for karmic echoes to pull you backward. Relationships also evolve in this integration process. As you heal yourself, you shift the dynamic with friends, family, and partners. You may find that some relationships naturally fade away, while others deepen. This is a natural byproduct of energy alignment. Rather than worrying about who stays or goes, trust that your newfound clarity draws in the people and situations best suited to your growth. You are no longer living in reaction to old wounds, but proactively creating a life that reflects your transformed self. To solidify this integrated state, try setting a daily intention. Today, I honor all my lessons by living authentically and compassionately. Say it upon waking or just before starting your work. This intention acts like a compass, guiding your thoughts and actions throughout the day. When challenges arise, you'll remember your commitment to yourself and respond from a place of empowerment rather than old, reactive patterns. Remember, integration is an ongoing process. You don't achieve it once and remain there forever. Life will continue to present opportunities for growth, and that's a sign of living fully. Each new challenge gives you a chance to put your integrated wisdom into practice, reinforcing your freedom and shaping an even brighter present moment. Ultimately, integrating karmic lessons is about standing firm in the knowledge that you are more than your past. You can weave together every thread: self-love, forgiveness, mindfulness, gratitude, high vibration living, to create a life that honors your true essence. The past becomes a foundation, not a prison. In this space, you breathe freely, love deeply, and move forward with a calm assurance that you are, indeed, liberated in the now. Your journey through karmic lessons need not be an endless labyrinth of pain or regret. By identifying recurring patterns, offering yourself unconditional self-love, extending and receiving forgiveness, and consciously choosing gratitude and higher vibrations, you pave the way to genuine liberation right here in the present. Each step you've taken in journaling, mirror work, or mindfulness has added a layer of awareness that gently but powerfully rewrites your inner script. Remember, you are not bound by your past. You are an ever-evolving being, fully capable of transforming old wounds into pathways of wisdom and compassion. Every time you pause before reacting, speak kindly to yourself, or open your heart to love instead of shutting down, you bend the trajectory of your karmic lessons toward growth rather than repetition. This process, while sometimes challenging, is also deeply rewarding. It allows you to reclaim the narrative of your life, making you both the student and the master of your own destiny. Before you move on, take a quiet moment to recognize how far you've come. Even the act of watching or reading something designed to help you heal is evidence of your commitment to a better life. You are courageous for choosing to see the truth, wise for seeking understanding, and strong for not giving up when the road feels steep. Let that knowledge fill your heart with warmth. If there's one final affirmation to carry forward, let it be this: I honor every lesson that has shaped me, and I stand free in the present, ready to embrace all the goodness life offers. Speak these words softly or silently, and allow yourself to feel the reality behind them. You've done important work here, and you will continue to grow, flourish, and inspire those around you. Embrace the freedom that comes from recognizing you are no longer shackled by old stories, but instead guided by newly awakened insight. Let that insight light your path, reminding you that true liberation isn't some distant horizon. It's a profound shift that can happen in this very moment, in each breath you take and in every choice you make.